traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. You wait a second for around the camp and outside the anime. And I will sing when I was late and I was in my mind. When I can make them be the same, and I can bring them away. You wait the way, around the way, up and stand away. I'm traveling man. 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 Well, now I sing. Man, traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. Traveling man. You went to play a long game, and went the same away. You went to swing whenever you need, and then don't run away. But I can find the main way. Went to send the main way, and up and send the main way. Up and send my way.
Good?
Yeah, he's saying go, go, go.
Welcome back to the Acoustic Shop channel. I am John. Hey guys, it is New Guitar Thursday. Cannonball!
All right, we're alive.
We're live, awesome.
We are live.
Here we are, Corey. Welcome, everybody. It's Takeover Tuesday.
From New York, it's Saturday Night Live.
And look who you got with us. You got Austin and Corey.
You pointed at me twice.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
I'm both Austin and Corey today. Yeah, welcome. This is not typical. I'm typically not on these, so this is going to be some fun.
Me neither. This is going to be fun. Before we get started, I do want to say a huge shout out to Corey over this last month since we've been going out to Winfield and IBMA. He's been at all these events, working his butt off. I do have something I want to present to you.
Okay.
Corey is now our assistant manager here at the shop.
I am.
And congratulations. I think you're well.
Yeah.
Here's your shop keys for you.
You're welcome.
And I wanted to get you a nice signing bonus.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm going to need that back at the end of this. I got it from the till. So if you could just
Okay.
get that back to me, that'd be great. But welcome
No.
to the team.
Okay,
Having
thank
you
you.
as part of the management team is going to be great.
Thank you.
So yeah, super exciting. Here, I'll take that back. No. Having Corey here in the shop is great. Obviously a wonderful player, and any of you have worked with him in the past know what a great person he is as a, I'd say sales guy, but really just as a friend to everybody that he works with. So congratulations, Corey.
Thank you. There's a lot of compliments going on right here.
Well, I'm going to stop because that's the last of the compliments you're getting from me today.
Well, thank you, Austin. I appreciate
am curious
that.
because we did come back from IBMA with a ton of stuff. I know we've been checking out new guitars as they've been coming through, assessing them. So while we're taking over the store today, why don't you go ahead and just guide me towards what is your favorite guitar that we have in right now in the store?
You know, it's such a difficult question. It's something that we get asked a lot. A lot of times people will call in and they'll say, you know, like, Corey, what's your favorite guitar? What is the best sound for this or that? I do think that there really are so many variables to it that it's almost impossible to say for sure or exactly what is the perfect guitar for you. But I will show you a couple of guitars that I think would be the perfect one for me, at least ones that we have right now. So come check these out.
Let's check them out. And while you're walking us in, if you want to go ahead and let us know where you're watching from, like, subscribe, share, let your friends know. We appreciate it. And yeah, let us know where you're watching from. If there's anything in particular you want to see, definitely give us a shout out. We'll be happy to show you.
So this is, so preface this, I am typically a bluegrass player, more in line with that, but what I really like is those times where I can just sit down on the couch, watch football, or do whatever I want, and play kind of a small body guitar. If I were to get the ultimate small body guitar, it would be this guy right here. This is the Fireside Parlor with the little French curve down here. I think this is the most attractive looking little fret splits that they do down here with the inlay. This is, of course, Adirondack spruce and a really dark and beautiful set of Brazilian rosewood. This has to be one of my favorite sounding guitars from Bedell that we've had for quite some time. I'll play it a little bit so you can hear it here. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I won't play it because it is out of tune, but... This is a great sounding guitar. I should have got the tuner out before I did this. This is probably one of the fanciest Bedells that we've had in, at least in this Fireside category. I absolutely love this one. And then the other guitar that I would have to pick as my favorite, if I were doing more of my bluegrass style stuff that I typically do, would be this guy right here, which is a Bourgeois. This is the Country Boy. There are a couple of modifications done to this guy. This is, of course, torrefied Adirondack spruce with Adirondack spruce bracing on the front, and the back being a set of Sinker mahogany. This is a pretty incredible sounding guitar. Let's see if this one's in tune. Probably not. It is. Here, I'll play a little bit so you can hear it. This guitar sounds absolutely incredible. I think with Sinker mahogany, you get a little bit of extra depth. So typically mahogany, and let me know if you guys find this different, but typically with mahogany back and sides, I feel like I get a ton of mid-range punch, not usually a whole lot of lows or highs, but whenever you do find a good mahogany guitar that has some of those characteristics of the lows and the highs that are kind of combining with that mid-range, they can be really, really special guitars, and that's why I like this one a lot, is because it does, with the Sinker mahogany, give you a little bit more boost in the lows, and really packs quite a punch. So these would be my two guitars, Austin, if I had to choose. It would be the untuned Bedell Fireside Parlor for a small body guitar, 12 fret, absolutely gorgeous and sounds incredible with Brazilian rosewood. And then, unashamedly, it would be another mahogany guitar, because that's what I tend to like a lot. So these would be my two choices.
Two great choices.
What about you? What do you like?
Well, to just kind of back your choice, when you get into smaller bodies, I mean, obviously, if you're a bluegrass guy, you're going to a jam, probably not going to give you the projection
Right.
you need. But you mentioned something about playing on the couch, and how many times do we just play for ourselves?
Yeah.
So finding a guitar that's comfortable for that, those smaller bodies are great. And of course, Bedell's putting out some of the nicest built guitars that we've seen here recently.
I agree.
They're at the top of their game. So
Yeah.
some amazing parts coming through. I personally kind of gravitated toward the Grand Reserve Boucher. It just stands out. And in general, of course, Boucher's a beautiful made instrument, but the voicing on this one in particular is where it speaks to me. I think that it's got all the projection you would want, but being a rhythm player, it's a little bit more subtle. And that it's not like just, overwhelming you.
It was a great sounding guitar.
It is just voiced beautifully. I don't know. I mean, they must have had just a wonderful day. Woke up in a good mood when they finished this thing, because it came out just right.
Yeah, the back on that guitar also is a very private set of Madagascar rosewood that they picked out, which looks perfectly book matched, and honestly is super well blended. Like, everything about this guitar with the koa binding I absolutely love.
Yeah, in the Grand Reserve, you're always going to get those fancier woods. This has also got the gold pack and the master pack, so it's got the fancier rosette. They kind of threw everything they could at it, and it turned out beautiful. A wonderful instrument. So this one definitely takes the top. There are some smaller bodies. You and I both kind of picked that chocolate Brazilian. That was my second go-to.
Sorry.
But it's that chocolate Brazilian that makes that so warm, and it sounds way bigger than you would expect that guitar to sound.
Yeah.
It's just super comfortable to play.
Well, that's actually a trend that I notice with Bedell guitars is no matter how big or small they are, they have a ton of oomph or a ton of just overall power and presence and projection. Even their smallest guitars that they offer, whether it be an OM or parlor style, are absolutely huge sounding. So I love them.
Okay, we do have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We are asking, do you have any recommendations for mandolins?
Yeah, well, it depends on a lot of factors. I think it depends on, number one, what kind of style of music that you're wanting to play. There are different styles of holes of mandolins, like oval hole or F hole. And then number two would be your budget and kind of what you're looking for there. If you're looking at something in the $600 to $1,500 range, I would recommend checking out Eastman mandolins. I think they're pretty fantastic, not only for the value, but just out punching their weight in value. Yeah.
Any FERC OMs?
Yeah, I think we have some FERC OMs over here. Let's see what we got. All right. We have the Vintage 3 OM, which this is their highest in line of their vintage series. East Indian rosewood back and sides with a torrefied Sitka spruce top. I believe this is a quadruple A Sitka spruce top as well. So they do a really high grade on this. Abalone rosette and then koa binding, which I absolutely love, as we were discussing earlier. On guitars, I think it looks great. Any sort of wood binding typically looks really good to me. So yeah, these are some pretty fantastic guitars too, and these are actually really in a good price spot. These come in right around $3,000 or so for a lot of upgrades for that price. So I'm a big fan of those.
You know, we had a question, I think it was an email we had gotten where somebody was asking, how do you compare FERC to Eastman, Breedlove, a lot of the other brands that we carry? And I've got my opinions, but what are your opinions on what makes FERC kind of unique?
Yeah, so what makes FERC unique? There's a couple of ways to kind of approach that. One would be from the tone. What makes FERC unique in the tone is that it does have a little bit of a brighter overall presence and resonance to it. So I think that these types of guitars tend to really appeal to folks who are kind of in that same sort of Taylor world, who are used to that kind of bright sustain and resonance there. That's at least been my experience. I mean, some other folks may have different experiences or their mileage may vary, but they're very open, responsive, and kind of on the brighter sounding guitars.
Okay, we have one more guitar question, and then I think we should probably move on to the accessories.
Sure.
All right, what is your favorite slope shoulder?
Man, favorite slope shoulder. We don't have a ton of slope shoulders in the shop right now, but I do know what my favorite one would be, and it is going to be this Atkin right here. This is possibly the loudest sounding slope shoulder guitar I've ever played. This is one with Sitka spruce and then mahogany back and sides. It's a relatively kind of plain Jane overall guitar with kind of a Ivoroid binding and everything like that, but they distress these, as you can see. It's highly distressed. Brand new guitar, but this is an open sounding guitar. It is very lightweight and it is an absolute monster whenever it comes to volume. In fact, I would go ahead and say that anybody who's looking, if someone were to ask us, Austin, what is the loudest guitar that you can get in the store, or what is the most boisterous, unleash the beast guitar, it would be an Atkin of any variety, whether it be one of the two we have down here, the D37 or the Essential D, or of course the J43, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, that D37's a monster too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are very open, and I agree with you in the FERC too. They have a very open sound to them.
Highly resonant. I wonder, I know that they do kind of a half matte finish on the FERC. I imagine that attributes a little bit to it, but it's not as focused of a tone on the Ferk or also in the Adkin world. It's more of a huge, boisterous tone. So
Let's go check out some accessories real quick.
Yeah, you want to hear where people are watching from?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we got someone from Phoenix, Toronto. We have coastal North Carolina. Someone who just got back from London and is now back in Malaga, which is funny because I was just in both of those cities last week or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
very cool.
Got someone from Michigan. Having to scroll through them. Canada. We have lots of people watching today.
Got the whole globe
That's awesome.
watching us.
It was like 39 degrees when we woke up this morning. It kind of felt like Michigan and Canada, but
Yeah, I'm glad I'm in Missouri
Yeah.
in the winter. I imagine Canada's pretty terrifying in the
39
in the winter.
morning and now it's 75.
Yeah. So, what kind of accessories did you want to talk about today, Austin? What is your go-to accessory? The
Well,
one that everyone must have.
You know, I could narrow it down, but I'm a huge fan of Music Nomad. In general, no matter what you get from them, I've found that all of their products work great. They're well thought out. My number one go-to would probably be, and we've got one here in the shop, and it's their string winders. Their string winders have a rubber end to them. You can see how much we use ours, but no matter what size tuner you have, this thing goes on real quick, real snug, and spins great. They do offer them as well with the clippers on there, so if you're a string winder and you've been using the old D'Addario or your Dunlops or whatnot, and they click and they will scuff up your headstock, you don't have to worry about it with the Music Nomad. Those things work great. All of their polishes work great, and I really like their F1 oil. I don't like to have a bunch of oils on my fingerboard. This is one that a little bit goes a long way, but I do this with, quite often, quite a few times a year. I'm getting all that grime and stuff off of my fingerboard with that and putting moisture back into it as the salts just kind of suck all that out.
Austin, I do want you to know that at the start of your explaining what your favorite product was, you did say, no matter what, Nomad. I just had to point that out. Okay,
I like that.
so
I'm gonna use that again.
just for reference, we have had this specific one for probably 10 years, or a very, very long time at least, and this is the best of all of them. My favorite thing is they don't scuff up a headstock. That's the best part. And it's got ball bearing.
We
So
do have
what's
a
your
question.
Yeah.
Did you get any F-Shub capos back in?
I just ordered them today, and they're coming from California, so I would imagine they'll probably be here either by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. So hopefully Shub Capos should be here pretty soon. My favorite accessory would be the one that is the most technological, which is this guy right here, the Humiditrack. Now, some people may not be familiar with humidity with instruments. Some people may have differing opinions on what type of humidity an instrument should have. But I think that we all know that wood does change with the seasons. It can warp and things can come apart or fall out and all sorts of things can happen. For one, I used to live in Colorado for a short period of time. For those of you who maybe do live out west or in a more arid environment, you know that in Colorado, New Mexico, wherever it may be, it is very dry, very arid. So using humidity is very, very important. What I do to use that would be this Humiditrack system. This is a little dongle that you actually put inside the case, or really anywhere. It can go inside a room, what have you. And you get the app, and then you can actually track humidity and temperature changes, any fluctuations that may happen there. And my personal favorite thing is if you're going on a plane quite a bit, this will actually tell you if it's being jostled around too hard. So if the case gets dropped or if it is being mishandled in some way, this is an excellent product because it'll actually give your phone an alert if someone's being too rough with it. So I like this a lot. This has been an excellent addition to my instrument care routine.
That thing's got to be like $150, right?
No, it's only like, I think it's like $50. It is $49.99. Yep. And so those are really, really excellent, specific to maybe someone who is wanting to keep a little extra track of exactly where their instruments are at. Because, some of these guitars that we were just showing off, Austin, are, $10,000, $15,000 guitars, and that's a really big investment for everyone. So I think that things like that really help people keep track of it.
Well, in conjunction with that, I mean, it's that time of year. We're starting to go
Yeah.
from summer to winter. We're firing up our furnaces, our fireplaces. So humidity is something that you definitely have to take into consideration. What's your favorite way of humidifying your instruments?
Well, there's a multitude of different ways over the years that I think a lot of people have tried to humidify instruments. I think the most effective overall way that I've found, and to make a long story short, I had a guitar out in Colorado, and with basically 0% humidity, it destroyed it. And then I started to use these things right here. Now, let me get the single pack so I can show you better. These things. So some of you may be familiar with this. Boveda is a company that provides these little saline solution gel packs. These are specific to be kept at 49%. So that means that since it's a two-way humidifier, it will both put out moisture and take in moisture as needed within whatever vacuum or specific environment that it's located in. So if you throw about 4 of these in a guitar case, more like 2 for a mandolin, then you can really keep the interior of that case as secure as possible. It does still work with gig bags, but it is not quite as effective. So with hard shell cases, these work extremely well. I get about 5 or 6 months out of these, at least in Missouri, during the kind of interior of the year. And then once we get around to the winter time, they do not last quite as long because they're having to pump out more moisture. So,
Fantastic. Do you want to show them that Bourgeois?
yeah, I think that we have to show them the Bourgeois.
We haven't got it out of
That's
the
what they.
case
That's
yet,
what they
so-
came here to see. New guitars. So
Let's go grab that. Pull that thing out.
let's do it.
I'm not sure if John showed this on the unboxing yesterday. I haven't even had a chance to play it, so I'm just as anxious as everybody else.
So we don't have a ton of information on how this one came to be, but we do know that they made a very limited amount of these. This is a triple O Bourgeois that typically would run around the $17,000 range, but Bourgeois decided to do something pretty cool and make these a little bit more affordable in around $4,000 to $5,000 less than that typical price point. It's an Adirondack spruce top with an absolutely gorgeous set of Brazilian rosewood back and sides. Now this is a triple O, so it's going to be short scale, but it sounds absolutely amazing, especially for finger picking style players. I'll see if I can give a good representation of it a little bit here. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, those
that's
sides are
pretty
awesome.
fantastic. And extra bonus points if you can tell me what that song was. No comments, Janelle?
Not for me.
Oh. You don't know?
Yeah, that thing is beautiful, and I think because of the
Absolutely.
Brazilian, and of course it looks beautiful, but the sound, I mean, it's very articulate.
That's one thing I always notice with Bourgeois guitars is, just like you said, articulate, focused. Dana is going for a super specific type of tone out of his instruments that nobody else really gets out of their guitars. So I think whenever somebody hears a Bourgeois guitar and they say, I love that, that's the only way you're going to get that sound, is from a Bourgeois guitar.
Yeah, I agree. Any other questions?
We have Sam saying, tried several multi-tools and one of your employees recommended the grip one, the best in my opinion. Also, John recommended the Nomad polish for my Sunburst Martin, which is the best I've found.
Yeah, the Nomad polish we use actually on just about every guitar that leaves the shop whenever we're shipping something. We use the One for gloss finishes and the Guitar Detailer for anything that has more of a matte finish or something that's an open pore type of finish where it doesn't get all glossed up. They're absolutely fantastic. We buy the big, huge industrial bottles and we use them every day.
And they smell pretty good.
They do
some
smell
people
really good.
going for
Yeah.
bonus points here.
They do smell like bananas.
We have a guess of Dust in the Wind.
No, okay, so Bob Dylan is your only guess.
We have Don't Think Twice.
There you go.
Yep, we got
That
a
was
few
it.
people.
Yep, that's one of the only songs I know how to play with fingerstyle, so I just decided to do that. Yeah.
Sounded wonderful, Corey.
Well, thank you, Austin.
Any other questions?
I don't think we have questions right now. People are still sending them in guessing for it. I think there's a little bit of a delay on here.
Delay. Well, sorry, the big prize has already been won, but in the end, yeah, it's been awesome this last couple of months, and you know, being able to go through all the IBMA.
Yeah.
You know, I've only been here about 7 months, so I'm kind of still getting used to the whole the world really of online, doing lives and whatnot. It's very cool. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate you, Tyler, and everybody here for kind of taking me under your wing and showing me the ropes. And
How many people do we have watching right now, Janelle?
I don't know if I can see on here. I can bring it up on my phone, or do you have
Well,
it up
let's
on
just
your
say
phone?
it's 50 people.
let's just say
That's more people
53
than could even
watching.
fit into the shop.
that's true.
Like, I mean, our shop is, and you know, a lot of people may not know this, but people who follow our channel, our shop is not very big. You know, we live kind of in a, not secluded, but a less populated area of Missouri, down here in southwest Missouri, and we get a lot of the local thoroughfare who comes through, but you know, getting the chance to meet people from, you know, what did you say, Italy and London and
There was Malaga
Canada.
and London, which is Spain and London, and
Well,
all
that-
over the U.S.
yeah, you know, it's not every day that some hillbillies like us are getting to talk to some cool folks from around the world. So
Well, and it's been awesome to meet them as they come through the shop. We get
Yeah.
a lot of folks that come by and visit the shop on their way through, either visiting Branson or just passing down I-44, and we really appreciate to be able to have them
Yeah.
come in, and you know, it's been an awesome experience. But,
yeah,
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we have some suggestions. How about tuners?
Okay.
yeah. I
you
mean,
have any?
there's the thing with tuners is there's so many different avenues and different styles of tuners. I can tell you the one that we've been enjoying the most lately, and it's actually not that expensive. It's kind of a newer rendition of something that has been around for a while. The Eclipse rechargeable tuner here. These are only $25, and it's essentially the same thing as their standard, but you can recharge it instead of having to use the same 2032 battery over and over again. We've been using this in the shop for weeks now, and it's been working really, really well. So I like these tuners a lot.
Well, and the Eclipse tuner has been one of our shop tuners for a while.
Yeah.
They
What's
they
the
work
best
really well.
cleaner for an Atkin 43?
Let's see here. So our Atkins varnish. No, they have a light nitro finish to them. Either one of these here would be appropriate. The One is going to have a little bit more, probably a little bit more appropriate for a full heavy gloss guitar. So I would say that the Guitar Detailer would probably be the right one.
Want to go back to guitars?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any nylon guitars?
We do. We have not a ton because we do focus a little more on steel string guitars, but we do carry some of the Ortega, Cordoba brands, and we also do have a Breedlove nylon string guitar, which is very nice as well. So we have some that are a little bit more of your traditional standard style, cedar top, mahogany back and sides. And this is, of course, you know, kind of the original style for a more nylon string classical guitar. And then we have some that are more thin bodied with maple, like these Cordobas back here. Thin body maple with onboard electronics. These are a little bit more modern, but still have the wide necks on them. So yeah, we like these quite a bit.
Well, and Corey, just so everybody knows, because we do get a lot of questions and we never keep these in very long, but Eastman has sent us some more 12 strings. So the AC 330, these do have pickups in them, already installed, ready to go. This one in particular is set up fantastic. It sounds awesome.
It is, yeah.
And as Eastman has been gifting us with these most beautiful woods, it too has just an amazing back and then all the way up through the neck.
That is an incredible back on that. Holy cow.
I mean, this is just again, I think Eastman like just hand picks these for the acoustic shop, because you're not going to find another one that just looks
No, even up
that
into
amazing.
the neck too. The neck looks amazing on that guitar.
That reminds me of yours, Corey.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I was lucky enough to get a E10 that I really liked quite a bit that has a really cool set of mahogany. So,
which influenced me to get the E6 and the slope shoulder, and it has
Yeah.
a bit of flaming in it as well. I was at a competitor's in Chicago, one that shall not be named, and was looking at theirs and noticed no flaming on their mahogany. So
Yeah.
I was like, yes,
So we get the special
we
flames.
get the specials. Yeah, Jeanette.
Yeah, what options do we have for K&K?
yeah, so we have quite a few of the standard options here. So we have ones, of course, your standards like the K&K Pure Mini, like these. And of course, we have the one with volume control. We have the Trinity Pro system, which is similar with your transducer mixed with a microphone. So that can be in some ways kind of similar to an Anthem if people are familiar with LR bags. And then we have those same types of pickups as well for banjo, mandolin, and violin. Yeah, the K&Ks are a shop standard here. We use these. I mean, we install more of these. I should say Liz installs more of these than just about any other pickup that we do. I think that people really like the K&K because it's very uninvasive. It's not a very difficult installation for one, so it's one that can be removed if properly done. And they sound really good, and for a passive pickup to sound that good, it's a pretty good thing. So.
Yeah, and the Pure pickup, that one seems to be the one that I sell the most of anyways. Just a great around pickup.
Yeah, these are really cool, and I can show you inside the box. Some of these people watching probably already have an idea of what this is, but it's essentially just a 1/4 inch out here, but you have the 3 transducers that go kind of equidistant from each other underneath the bridge, and those help capture the vibration of the overall guitar and the top. The only downside with this is that if you have a monitor poked right at your guitar on stage, or if you have a lot of stage noise going on, there can be some feedback issues. At least personally, that's something I've noticed. But in those situations, I've just used a feedback buster, and it fixes all of that.
Well, we talk a lot about guitars, about mandolins, banjos, instruments. A lot of people may not know that we actually do get into pedals, and we have some amplifiers. We do get into some pro audio stuff, pretty niche and limited towards the acoustic player. Mm-hmm. But really, if you ever had any questions about this world, Tyler is one of the best when it comes to pro audio, what works in a live situation, what might work best for you. So if you have any questions about, hey, I'm looking to get into some kind of pedals, anything from, of course, the Peterson tuners that we have, up to the voice print, or a lot of new technology is coming out. Feel free to give us a call here at the shop. Tyler, any of us are willing to help you kind of navigate what that looks like. It's the search for tone, and it's a never-ending journey.
Yeah, one of the coolest overall products that I think we have that I haven't done a lot of investigating into myself personally, but I've learned a little bit about it from talking to people like Tyler and John, is actually the LR Bags voice print DI, where you're capturing a sonic image of your guitar. Those are really, really cool. Yes, Janelle.
So we have a sponsored comment.
Oh, cool.
I can't pull it up on the screen, but I'll read it. Corey, how long did it take you to get really good at picking? Say 90% as good as you are now. I'm almost 2 years in, not close to you yet.
Oh, well, that's very, very kind. I would say, so I started playing when I was, I think, 12 or so. And that was because my dad was playing music in the Branson area here, close to where we live in Springfield. And he would take me to shows, and I would learn about guitars. He had a lot of old, crusty guitars around, so good for a kid to kind of bang up on a little bit. It probably took me from the age of 12 to really about 18 before I started to feel as a little bit more confident as a guitar player.
I think I'm still turned on. How much is the K&K for a mandolin?
Yeah, so it's very similar in price. The twin internal pickup is going to be $109, which is the same as a guitar. Really, the only main difference here is it's 2 transducers instead of the 3 across. Yep.
How does the Adkin D37 compare to, say, a Bourgeois Dreadnought?
Well, they're wildly different guitars in so many ways. They both have a bolt-on neck style system. The J43 is a very lightweight, thin finished guitar meant to look as if it is old. It's meant to look vintage, and that's really what I think Alistair Adkin is going for, whereas Bourgeois is much more of a modern style guitar.
Do you have to enlarge the strap pinhole to install the K&K?
Enlarge the strap pinhole? Yeah, so the end pin of the guitar, at least standard, is not big enough for that actual jack to just go straight in. So a larger hole has to be reamed, at least for the internal pickups. There are other options, especially for mandolin, where you have an external pickup that can just be mounted to the side, but at least for a guitar and any of the internal options, you do have to ream a 1/4-inch hole jack.
We do have someone saying hi to Tyler, so hello, Tyler.
Tyler says hello back. Yeah, man. So yeah, what was your journey, Austin, with guitar? How did you start playing?
It's the same thing.
Guitar?
When I was 12, my dad played. Obviously, that was a little bit earlier on. I was in the 80s. So back then it was MTV, rock and roll, big hair. And I mean, that's what I thought of. That's what I wanted to be. Naturally, as you grow older and as you get through your music experience, you kind of change, you evolve. Acoustic became more my primary instrument.
Yeah.
And the last band I toured with, that's what I did. I had a couple songs on electric, but acoustic became my world. But yeah, it's so far as learning, I mean, a lot of what I learned was self-taught, and it was just a matter of getting out and doing it.
Yeah.
I started doing coffee shops in high school, and I mean, it was hard. I mean, the first times you get out and perform in front of people, it's a train wreck. At least it felt like it. But after you get used to it, and you realize that music is one of those things that not everybody's going to ever be perfect. You're going to be your own worst critic. So if you just get to where you enjoy the practice, you enjoy the playing, it'll start coming to you. Yeah,
there's a certain grind to playing guitar and playing an instrument. And by that I mean just a dedication. Like when I was a kid, what I really wanted is I wanted to learn how to play like X player or Y player. And I wanted to imitate songs. I wanted to learn how to create that same tone that they did and all the little nuances. And those are the types of nerdy things, I think, that are usually present amongst guitar players and musicians in general. There is a dedication to wanting to get be more curious and keep your mind active. So.
Yeah, and the more you do it, it's really rewarding. I mean, in the end, it takes a long time to learn your first song.
Yeah.
And as you start to kind of learn more techniques, learn more, more theory and whatnot, and you begin to accomplish more, it really is rewarding. It's kind of like, to me, I always put it like a video game. I reached the next level. You know, oh, I finally learned that scale. That's like reaching the next level
Yeah.
of a video game. So I looked at it as fun to try and conquer it.
Well, and benchmark moments, you know, like everyone has those in their playing music career. You're like, I remember when I tackled that song. I remember when I was able to finally get that chord or play that lick. And those things become mini victories that keep you going. So, absolutely. I agree with that. 100%.
Any more questions?
We have a very good point that someone just made. I started taking lessons at 73 years old. I've progressed way farther than I ever expected to. Great for the elderly brain.
Absolutely. That's what my grandpa did before he passed. He decided to take up painting and decided to take up learning how to play some guitar, and I think it helped keep him active and keep him in the zone.
Well, and that's a good point, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I wish I would have started earlier. I'm too old to start or whatnot. And the point is, no matter whether you're 8 or 80, we all start at square one. And if you enjoy playing, I think that's the bottom line, right? You're always going to be your own worst critic, and you want to play better than you ever will. I mean, that's just a matter of why we still do it, right? It's to try and get better and trying to progress to where we want to be. But in the end, it's such an enjoyable thing to make music that I encourage everybody, no matter whether it's a guitar, a ukulele, a harmonica, or whatever brings you joy. Music is one of those things that's unspoken language. So I definitely condone, no matter what age, to grab an instrument and start playing.
Absolutely.
We also have Alex A saying best advice is to pick up your instrument every day, then try to play what you want or play what you like.
Right.
That's exactly right. Because otherwise you won't stick with it. You know, if you really like bluegrass music and you're being forced to play classical music, those are two wildly different genres. And someone may not stick with it if they're not playing what they like. So I think that's a really good point. And that's why there are so many different instruments catered toward different styles of instrument players, because that's one of the first questions that we get asked when someone walks in the store wanting something is, or not the first question we get asked, but the first question we do ask, which is, what style of player are you? What's comfortable for you? How big of a guitar? How small of a guitar? Because all of those drastically affect how it plays.
I got into that conversation earlier a little bit about what's the best beginner guitar. We get that question a lot.
Yeah, we do.
How much should I spend? And it really is about what is going to make you want to pick it up and play it. So in the end, comfort. I mean, there's not a one size fits all. I know that a lot of people think that like the big bulky guitars are maybe for big guys or something like that. The small guitars are for smaller people. But Dolly Parton plays a jumbo. There's no.
She does.
It doesn't matter what size, or just what you like. And so in the end, if you spend. I think here we believe no matter what we carry would be a good guitar for any level player. The Eastman PCH is a great option. They start around $350. But if you find a guitar that you like and it's a $3,000 guitar and you want to play that, then play that. It's whatever you enjoy. And there's no rules to that.
It's a tool. It's a guitar is a tool, or an instrument is a tool to produce the sound that you want to hear. Maybe it's the type of sound that you've never been able to hear before, so you want to make it yourself. And whatever tool best represents what kind of sound you're trying to make, I think that's the one that's right for you.
I agree.
Regardless of price. Yeah.
Other questions?
No more questions right now.
Wow. Well, good job, Corey.
Yeah, well, thank you,
all
Austin.
the questions that the world had.
Yeah, we answered every last question on the internet.
There you go.
Quite the feat.
Join us next week for the same.
Very proud of you for solving world hunger this week.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how much else I can say, Austin. I mean, we've covered it all.
I think we've done it, man. We took over. We did it, and again, it's been an awesome ride. The shop is really a cool place. It's got a lot of great inventory right now. We love this stuff. So if you ever get any questions about any of the guitars you saw today, or just about your journey in music, feel free to give us a call here at the shop, 417-720-1223, and we're happy to help you in whatever we can to get you down that musical road.
I think so.
Guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you next time.